friends, what's up? Welcome back. It's been a second. I know I feel so crazy sitting down and do a video, but I'm super happy to be back. Girl, it was such an impromptu break. I wouldn't even call it a break, but it was an impromptu pause of content, but your girl is back. So of course we are doing a chit chat. Get ready with me because I just feel like it's manners, formalities. That's how it goes on my channel. If you are new here, hit the subscribe button, put notifications on so you guys know when I upload a video. But let's get into it. For primer, I'm gonna use my MUA Pro Base Primer. If you guys know any have any primer recommendations, please let me know, because I've kind of you guys know I love my Milk primer, but that primer is more for me. I kind of save it for when I'm going out and I really need to keep my makeup on for longer, but I kind of want a primer an everyday one. Foundation, skin tint, I'm going to use my Glowish by Huda Beauty Multi-Dew skin tint. If you guys hear any noise in my background, my nephew's here. This is in the shade Rich 12. Honestly guys, I've been in this weird isolation mode since last year. If I'm being honest, I feel like I just got a little bit into a reflective mood. I felt like I kind of wanted to figure out what I was doing with my life, where my career was going, where my life was going. I spoke to you guys about it in my last chit chat, talking about pivoting and stuff. I think I'll talk about that a little bit more. But as far as isolating, I feel like I isolated myself quite a lot just for my peace of mind, and because I just feel like I needed to take a break and figure out what I wanted for myself and what I feel like I need to do. You get so caught up in just the fast pace of everything and how fast everything moves, and you really don't have the time to press pause and really figure out what's going on, what do I want, what am I actually working for, what am I working towards, what are my goals in the next couple of years. Just luckily I'm quite a self-aware person, because I can be honest and say I literally haven't seen quite a lot of my friends for, I would say, nearly 6 to 7 months. I just fell off the grid, literally ghosted everyone, just because for my sanity. It was is a Bia lyric she has in her song where she said, I got love for all my friends but it's sanity first. That's how I felt. I felt like I needed to get myself together mentally and just get everything together for myself so that I can be here for everyone else. I don't feel like there's a point in stretching yourself super thin and stretching what you could there's no point running yourself down to empty in terms of energy, and then you won't even be able to it comes to a point where you have to have enough energy for mental space for yourself to have space for other people. And it got to a point where I was I don't even have energy for myself. I feel like I've grown quite a lot in terms of my mental well-being, how I feel about life, just so much stuff. So I feel like I'm just a whole new person, and I think I really clocked this when I went out a few times in the last 2 weeks, and every situation I was in, I just felt this is so odd. I was just this isn't me, this isn't my style, this isn't where I go, this isn't what I do anymore. This is so, I felt a little bit out of place. Seeing how much I've changed as a person and how much my perspective changed is really interesting. I feel like I want to make more friends in different areas of interest, because I think I'm a multifaceted person, and I feel sometimes when I feel certain things that I find mentally stimulating or interesting, I don't really get to have in-depth conversations or have people around me where I can stretch my mind in certain ways. And I feel I want to grow more in certain areas, so I do need to put myself in rooms and in situations where I feel I can grow more and I can fulfill my potential in terms of just growth. And I feel the people that you have around you are always really, really important in your growth and how far you can go, because sometimes it's not even about how hard you work. Sometimes it's about the rooms you're in and the people who truly believe in you and people who are rooting for you. So that's something I've realized. Usually when I was young, I was quite a shy person. Some of it came from knowing I could do things and knowing I was super smart, but not feeling comfortable to share it. I don't know why, I just felt people make a big deal out of it, and I just didn't like the attention from it. I feel now I'm not really shy. I feel I'm reserved, but I'm definitely more confident, and I can say what I mean what I say. But I'm pretty reserved, and I don't speak just for the sake of it. If I'm gonna say something, I'm gonna say something because it's meant it means something, and because I feel it's important. I'm not just gonna talk just to talk, because I feel I don't BS. But yeah, that's kind of where I've been. I feel it was half term a week or 2 ago. My niece and nephew were here, so I was watching movies with them and just chilling with them and just being in my real life. Okay, let me just put on this primer and then we'll continue the convo, because I'll be talking forever and not doing my makeup. So you guys already know I'm using my Be Perfect eyeshadow base. Always use this. I'm gonna do some eyeshadow today because I know the whole last year I feel like it was giving soft glam all the time, and I'm not a robot and I'm not nobody's aesthetic princess. I can do my own looks. So we're gonna do a look today. So I'm gonna put this on and I will be right back. Today I'm gonna be using my Be Perfect palette. I think I'm gonna do something purple. So I'll probably be using these two shades and probably some other shades of some palettes to build out my look. As I was saying, I really didn't plan on taking like a social media break. But as I like had more time off, I wanted to just take a break to live my real life. And I say it like that because whenever I do a vlog or I create content, I do it because I love it. You can't really just post what you love anymore. It's like you can post what you love, but you have to curate it in a way that works for YouTube as a business and an algorithm. And that can be draining to someone who just creatively likes to do it, you know? And that's why I feel like a lot of times you guys may see a lot of creators like not post, or they may do like videos and you could tell like they're getting burnt out and stuff. It's because now it's become so business focused, it can take away from the initial like creativity of it. And I feel like that's where I kind of was like getting burnout from, because it's like I can't just create to create. I have to always think on a business level, okay, is this gonna do well? So for me, I've accepted it now. That's just what it is. It's never going to stop me from creating what I want, but I do understand in certain ways that I'm formatting my content, I kind of have to create in a way that works for me and what I'm passionate about and what I love doing, but I also have to make sure I'm ticking the right boxes if I want to grow. If I don't finish blending this eyeshadow, I'm literally just talking my mouth off. I'm just going to go with the shade Reckless, and I'm going to pop that right on top of that brown and bring that in to my crease. I feel like I've passed that stage of feeling like doubt, like was it worth it? Should I have done that? No, I'm exactly where I need to be and everything is in alignment for a reason. Okay, I think the whole freedom and being a creative and creating content, there's freedom in that, and when it becomes constraint, it's like, hold on, it's a different time I guess we're living in, and yeah, it's just very different. But enough about this industry talk. Let's get into the rest of this look and let's change gears. I'm gonna use the wasted shade like I said, and let's see how it comes out. Ooh, that is super pretty. Oh, I'm obsessed already. Like, it's not even finished, but it's already I'm actually gonna go into my Pat McGrath Mothership 5. Yeah, Mothership 5. I hardly ever use my Pat McGrath. It just has such a special place in my heart because Pat McGrath is a self-made billionaire beauty boss, and she's a black woman from the UK, and I find so much inspiration in her art form, what she's done and what she's been able to do, and like I'm just inspired. I love her. I'm gonna go into this shade, which I believe is called Extreme Aubergine. I think it'll be perfect just to like pop here and kind of define and blend out any edges and smoke it up a little bit. Definitely smoked it up. Soft glam, okay, we get it. We all love soft glam. It's like our go-tos, but like nothing beats like a super pretty bold look, especially eye look, like a matte bold eye. Literally amazing. I love it. So I'm just gonna blend this in. I'm gonna use the same brush, just like a blending brush I use for the first purple I kind of put on my eyes, Reckless, and I'm just gonna just tap down on the edges because I want to keep it defined, but I don't want it to look muddy on the edges. Like, it has to look diffused. You see how harsh this eye is, like how it's cut, and this one, if I close my eyes, is much more diffused. You want to make sure it's diffused. You can always go in and add more color for vibrancy, but you want to make sure you have that blown out effect because it can look very choppy. But enough of the industry talk. Something else I want to talk about, but I feel like it's in the same little breath, it's like, well, I kind of mentioned it when do my makeup, everyone becoming the same girl. I saw a post on Instagram, I'm always seeing posts, but guys, I did. I saw a post on Instagram of somebody saying, is us all wanting to be that girl making us all become the same girl? And I think that's a really interesting perspective. Personally, I love the that girl content, I love the vlogs, I love the TikTok, I love all of like the kind of like self-help, self-growth, like just wanting to be better, wanting to be on art-ish and just doing great. I love all that content, but I do feel like it's like almost like a certain type of person that everyone kind of is aiming to be, and at a point it's like, okay, is everyone just trying to be one person? Is everyone kind of not wanting differentiation or individuality? The only thing that I would say is be careful in how you are. Be careful who you're putting on your mood boards, and be careful what you're trying to manifest. Don't put too much, basically don't try to mirror somebody else's life, because you don't know what they actually go through in their real life. You can always be inspired, you can always take notes, you can always use people for inspiration or whatever the case, but never try and like absolutely mimic what someone else does or what's for them. What's for you is for you, what's for them is for them. You cannot manifest somebody's life for yourself. Anyway, let's get on to, I'm loving the makeup. I'm stuck between, should we do shimmer or should we not? I think I'm gonna leave it matte, honestly. If I do add some shimmer, it will be in the inner tear ducts. But for now, we're gonna keep it matte. We're gonna put on the lashes, we'll come back and we'll talk about some other stuff. So today's concealer, I'm gonna use my XX Revolution, and then I'm also gonna use a little bit of my e.l.f. So this is in the shade CX13. And you guys know I always do an angle up here. I'm gonna let that sit for a second, and then I'm gonna blend her out with a sponge. Did you guys get to watch the Genius documentary 3-part series with Kanye? Absolutely loved it. Kanye is one of my faves. Honestly, creative genius, visionary genius. Like, there's not much more we can say. I think everyone can agree on that. Whether you like Kanye or not, I think we can all agree he's a genius, but I definitely think he is a trailblazer in his own right, for fashion, for music, culture wise. Like, he's just done so much. It's so much that I feel like people don't even give him his credit for. And I find his whole story and his just self-belief very inspiring. And if you didn't watch that documentary and get inspired, I do not know. Because listen, the journey to, like, not even the journey, the self-belief and confidence that you have to have within yourself, like, to even get to his level is just incredible. I remember even watching the Breakfast Club interview he did years ago, and I remember like Charlamagne laughing in his face, like, why would you want to do fashion? Like, nobody looks at you to do fashion. Like, basically like disrespecting the guy's goals and dreams. And like, it just goes to show, like, you have to have 100% self-belief and faith, confidence in yourself at all times, because regardless of what people say, you have to stay committed to your journey and what you do. Even people he looks up to is telling him like they don't respect him as a rapper, and he's just like trying to like make a name for himself, but it's like nobody's listening. It took him quite a while. It's just crazy like how things happen, but it's like believing yourself, having confidence, and like putting in the work to get where you want to be. You just got to stick to it. And also, I feel like I learned from the documentary, trust your creative process. Don't always feel the need to go with what's the trend. Like, create your trends yourself. Like, don't get so caught up in the business of things. It's such a big comparison with like his first album and the content that was on that, and then what was out at the time. Like, you see Jay-Z and like all these people in these big baggy clothes, so you can kind of imagine like what era that was and what music was out compared to what he was saying. You can see why people probably was like, why? People probably wasn't paying attention, because they're like, that's not what is popping right now. Why would we invest in that? But that just shows like if you stay committed to your creative journey and your process, like you can never really fail. It might take you longer, get back up, try again, but how amazing is it when you do finally succeed with everything that you actually wanted to do? So I love that. And also I loved a part in it when he was talking about being the greatest, and that like everyone should feel like they're the best. And I absolutely agree with that. As much as people like to play up the politics and like try to be respectful, like respectfully, don't be humble. Always talk about your accomplishments and be proud of them. Don't try and like dim your light or try and be humble about things. And that's something that I had to check myself on when watching it, because I realized like there's so many times where I don't mention what I do, and I don't kind of brag on myself, and I don't highlight all the good things I'm good at, and all the things that I've been able to accomplish, no matter how big or small. I don't brag on them, and it's like, why not? Why do I feel like I always have to be humble and dim my light? And Nikki, I just watched the Nikki interview she did with Joe Budden. She said something that literally was like, oh my gosh. She said, we're so used to, as a community, dimming our light, so when we see somebody being confident, it's almost like, why are you being so loud? Like, calm down, stay in your place. It's always that kind of energy. But really, it's like, no, if that's your accomplishments, you should be able to talk your ish and be proud of it, and nobody should tell you to be quiet. And talk your ish at every given opportunity, because, you know, life is never, especially like, I don't know, for me and for a lot of people, like, this ain't coming easy. We don't come from no rich background or no family with whole heap of money. So when you do make your accomplishments, it's so much more, like, it just means so much more. So yeah, at any opportunity, be proud of yourself, be proud of where you come from, and don't be afraid to like talk your ish and like name and drop your accomplishments and what you've been able to do. Don't ever dim your light for anybody, or because it makes people uncomfortable. Someone being popping and someone accomplishing things should never make you feel uncomfortable. If anything, it should make you feel inspired. If it doesn't make you inspired, you got to check yourself on that. So yeah, I love the documentary. If you haven't checked it out, I definitely would encourage you to. I know some people have their different thoughts on Kanye and some of his thoughts and the things he said over the years. There's been some choice things that Kanye spoke about that I don't necessarily agree with, but I'm not so quick to like shut people down. We're in this time where cancel culture is such a big thing. For me, I just don't really feel like cancel culture is real. I feel like you can only cancel someone personally. If you don't want to listen to an artist, you can cancel them in your phone, in your life, but in the world, it rarely ever works like that. But even when you want to talk about cancel someone, 9 times out of 10, that person's going to be trending on some social media platform and everyone's gonna be talking about it. So it's like, is they really cancelled if everyone's still talking about it? Is it? Because if they're really cancelled, then no one, it should be like Voldemort, like he who should not be named, she who should not be named. It doesn't make sense. But yeah, when it comes to like, well, I'm gonna talk specifically Kanye at this point, I don't believe in like keeping yourself in an echo chamber. So you know how some people like to keep their social media in a place where it's like everyone agrees, and if someone doesn't agree, it's like, you have to agree with me, my opinion is right. With me, I don't always like to be in an echo chamber. Sometimes I like to hear alternate opinions. I'm the person that's more intrigued to say, why would he say this? Like, what on earth would make him say this? Let me dig deeper. Let me actually go watch the interview where he said this. Let me see where he was going with it. Because from what I've understood him as an artist, just watching over the years, he's not somebody that you can like get 10 words out of and understand exactly what he's saying. It takes him quite a while to get to the point. It's almost like a stream of consciousness. So whenever I see like headlines, like stuff like that, anyone in general, I never really take them for what it is. I always like to do my own little research, regardless if they're black media sources or not. I understand the business of that, and like clicks and engagement and, you know, all of that stuff. So I always like, let me go see actually what happened. Let me go to the source. Let me see the interview. But yeah, I love the documentary. And also I know a lot of people have their opinions because of like the recent like social media posts and like what he's been posting on Instagram and all that stuff. I didn't judge his reaction too harshly. Did I agree with it? No. Especially a divorce that includes kids, and it's been a long-term marriage. I think it was like 2 days ago I saw a picture of both Kanye and Kim at North's basketball game. That's the caption of the picture, that's what it said. So I don't really think, like, when people are writing all these think pieces, again, you don't know someone else's, like, you don't know people's life, you don't know how fast things are moving, and you don't know how involved people are. So there's no point writing these think pieces, because the next day everyone could be cool. One thing I can respect of just the honesty and the realness of it though. That's one thing I can respect, because we always expect like quite a robotic response. You know how people always say, oh, some celebrities should be more like Beyonce and not say anything. If some people overshare, it may not be the best, but that's their right too. Everyone has the post option. If you download Instagram, you can post what the hell you want. So, you know, do your thing. And yeah, that's just my thoughts on it anyway. Not that my thoughts really matter on that situation. It's not my business. But yeah, that's just my thoughts on that. So I don't know why I feel like my concealer's coming out a bit weird today. You guys already know my go-to bronzers I don't feel the need to buy any new bronzers, honestly, because I need to finish these. Like, what's the point in buying bronzers I can't get through? I do want to try a few, maybe one more. I think I might buy maybe one more, because at this point I'm in between this and my Fenty bronzer and thick mint that I absolutely love. So yeah, I think I can squeeze one more in the rotation. I really love how this bronzer is like setting off with the purple. I think the purple does great things for my skin tone. I'm gonna go in with thick mint Fenty and just kind of define a little bit more, so a little bit deeper. I think I might go in with my Laura Mercier. I actually haven't used her in a while. And I'm just gonna use my elf mineral powder brush. This is the translucent honey version, and I'm just gonna kind of tap in. Because I think one thing about Laura, like this Laura Mercier powder, is so fine, but it gives such a flawless finish. It's like beautiful. Now we're gonna go ahead and use some blush. I'm using my Pat McGrath Paradise Venus blush. Looks like this, one of my faves. Love me some blush. Don't we love to blush? Blush, blush, blush. Do you know what? Speaking of blush, dating in 2022, I'm all about just being, I guess, I feel like this year I am super focused on myself and my growth as a person, as a young woman. I just want to get my ish together, be on my ish, even if it means I have to be a little bit more selfish. Why is this guy calling me? Hello? Why are you calling me? Sorry if I interrupt you guys. Literally, I haven't spoken to my friend in so long, so it was just like cool to hear from him. So let's finish off this look. I'm absolutely loving like how the skin's looking with the eyes. And you know what? Sometimes I feel like when you do soft glam, it kind of takes away from like, well, it doesn't take away, but sometimes you don't appreciate how good your base looks. I'm gonna go into lips now. I'm gonna use my Morphe Trendsetter lip liner. I'm gonna use my Shy Beauty clear gloss today. I'm just feeling the clear gloss vibe with this look. I want to keep like my lips and like my face very simple, and then just have all the drama on the eyes. And I think that's like the art of like being able to use color and use like bright colors, but still keep your look kind of subdued and still like classic and still classy. I think sometimes people feel like, you know, using color is a little bit too bold or too bright and it doesn't go with like a classy look or like a simple look. But if you just pull back on the skin and the lips and like your overall makeup, your brows, everything else, just make it very soft in terms of like the colors, everything. A bold eye makeup look is just gonna look gorgeous. So before I close out this video, I kind of just neaten up my hair a little bit, but I literally just scrolled on socials real quick and I just saw a post, something about work ethic, like advice to women in business, and it was kind of like, oh well, women just need to get the F up and go to work, and they just need to stop complaining and do what they need to do to be successful. And I felt like that came off a little bit weird, because I understand the sentiment, but I feel like it's similar to what another UK influencer said last year, beginning of this year, about everyone having the same 24 hours. How many times do you have to just explain it to people? Like, we all know life chances and opportunity is affected by your race, your gender, your class, where you're born, where you grew up, your environment. So much thing can affect your life chances and your opportunities to succeed. I wouldn't take that advice, and if I did take that advice, take it with a pinch of salt, because saying, oh, you just need to get up and work hard, there is so many people, especially minorities, who get up crazy hours in the morning and work all sorts of like labor, like manual, like really hard labor jobs, and work really hard. So many people who have 2-3 jobs work super hard to provide for their families. You cannot work hard your way out of inequality. Something has to change in your opportunities and what around you for you to be able to transcend that and grow. Okay, so this is the finished look. I just decided to just sleek my hair back because I just love a sleek ponytail. It makes it look very simple and put together. So yeah, this is the finished look. I went ahead and set my face a little bit with my Morphe continuous setting mist. So hope you guys enjoyed today's little chit chat. I did take quite a few breaks throughout the video, so hopefully it flowed well and it's all consistent. Thank you guys so much for coming back and always watching. If you're new, and make sure you tap the subscribe button, put your notifications on, and yeah, if you guys enjoyed today's video, I will see you guys in my next one.